Much better. Much better. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. And I find myself here alone. Now, I've had 5 people say they were going to join me this evening, so it's a possibility that it could still happen. But I got a couple things that I am interested in doing. Okay, Timmy says he needs the link through Messenger. I think this is Messenger. All right, I'll get him the link. I'll get him the link while you guys look at my beautiful. Did I say Friday? It's Friday. It's Friday. How do I get him the link? One second, guys. Let's see. We will go here and we will type it in. YJYJYG8. Hold on. I'm getting there. I can't talk and type at the same time. I guess I can. I just did, didn't I? All right, this should get Timmy in there. / boom. All right, Tim should be in or coming soon. We got that part done. So we'll come back to here and we'll welcome you guys into Eclectic Ramblings. Got a couple things going on here, but I really need somebody to share them with. So I was counting on Timmy to bounce it back and forth. It's been a weird week for me, at least. I'm just getting back from Nashville, actually. My brother is taken ill after a back surgery, and they were transferring him from the hospital to a rehab facility. And my sister and myself had decided that we needed to have a presence there during that transfer to make sure that the new facility knew that he was loved and being watched. So I grabbed a rental car and I took the little dog. I took Newton with me. He's looking a little thin. So I thought I would take him with me and fatten him up a little bit. Hold on, Timmy just called me. Let me see. He says he can't get in. 1 second. I go here, copy, Tim. Copy. Tim. That's interesting. If I can copy the link, why can't he copy the link? Although we have been having problems with our Facebook feed, but I don't think I'm sending it to Facebook right now. I think I've got this exclusively going to YouTube. I wanted to share it after the fact and see how that helped increase the views. And we'll see if he can get in here anytime soon. So I was saying that I rented a car and took the little dog, and we went down to Nashville. It is, of course, supposed to be I think an 8-hour drive or something like that. It took me 13, but I left from a long day's work. I stopped a couple of times and napped 2 hours here, 2 hours there. And it's just amazing. Let's see here. I'm going to paste it right in here and see if that'll do it. There you go, Timmy. Take that. Take that. Irene, if you're out there, take that. Take that. Matter of fact, anybody that can see the chat, you guys can join in. This I really want to test this software. This software says I can have up to, I think, 14 people on the screen at the same time. So I'm more than excited about having people join from all over the world. As a matter of fact, one of the projects we're working on is called My World. But I'm going to get back to that because I'm going to tell you about Nashville. it took me almost 13 hours to drive down to Nashville, and that's because I took my sweet time. I stopped on rest areas. I stopped at gas stations. I didn't see anything that said the world largest toothpick, but had I would have stopped. So I meandered down to Nashville, got to the facility, and was told that Nashville and Tennessee was on a lockdown and that I would not be able to get in and see my brother. So I turned around and came home. Well, actually, I was able to get a computer fix. Timmy's going to appreciate that. I went and saw Timmy's cousin, Peter Alves. Are you there, Timmy?
I'm here.
All right. I went down and Peter's in Clarksville, which is about 45 minutes north of Nashville. So I was able to get my laptop to him, which was acting up, and he was able to repair it for me. So it was not for naught.
Yeah.
I probably could have done it a little cheaper with UPS or FedEx than driving down there. But I tell you what, one thing, on the way back, I started back around 11 o'clock in the morning. No, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I told the GPS to avoid highways. So my 10-hour trek from Nashville to Michigan became a 16-hour trek on back roads all the way from Nashville up to Michigan. So I knew I wasn't going to follow it all the way, but I stayed on the back roads through Tennessee, through Kentucky. I hit the highway again just north of Louisville. And you want to talk about a scenic and relaxing drive. It was just fabulous, Timmy. How was your week?
I did kind of the other way. Coming out of Ohio, I did the back way all the way down into Louisville before I jumped back on 75, heading down this way. And same thing, Central Ohio, all that. That was real nice.
Calming, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That highway driving gets really boring and monotonous, but when you're on those little gray roads, you never know what's around the corner. I mean, I came past a field of llamas. There was a field of llamas, man. Just boom, llamas. You don't get that on the highway. All I'm going to do is get another Cracker Barrel sign, you know?
Yeah.
I was amazed at the lack of small towns, though. You know, in Michigan, you'll hit a town every 40 miles or so, 50 miles max. I don't know. But they just seem to be really, really spread out and really just one intersection.
Let me ask you to this way. Is it that you're talking the downtown regions are really spread out, but the town itself is sprawling with farmland?
Both.
Okay.
I mean, the downtowns are condensed. It's usually like one block, the intersection of the highway and whatever main road is going through.
What I'm explaining, what I'm meaning is, like, when I drove from Dubuque, Iowa to Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin, back in August, it'd be like, okay, you come into this town and this town would go for miles, but like the downtown area would just be a little block. The majority of the town was big farms.
Yeah, that's what this was. Big farms. Yeah. I mean, I at one point I had a black fly in the car with me, and I'm like following it around in the car, and finally it landed on the back hatch window, and I said, "Oh shit, I know how to get rid of this." But there was nowhere to pull over. There was nowhere to pull over. It was highway and ditch. So when I finally came up to a farmhouse, I kind of jetted into the driveway a little bit, jumped out, opened the hatch, let the fly out, and by the time I got back around to the front door, the farm hounds were rushing the car. There was 5 dogs just coming to the car. Now, had I stopped to tie my shoe, this story would have gone a different way.
You might have introduced yourself to the dogs, or they might introduce themselves to you.
Who knows? I'm an animal lover. They know that. They know that as they rip my limbs off.
If you think that's some spacious, you gotta get into New Zealand. and go out to the farm, the sheep farms. I mean, you'll be out there 40, 50, 60,000 acre sheep farms. Ain't nobody close together when you get out there.
50,000 acre farms?
Yeah, big acreage farms for sheep. There's more sheep than people on that island.
Wow.
Now they got their cities. They got their cities. Don't get me wrong. You know, Auckland's a big city. Queenstown is not a big city, but it is a built-up resort area. Christchurch is kind of a built-up town, but man, when you get between them and you're out, especially if you're out in the mountains, and you go for miles and miles and miles without seeing a farmhouse, and it's just fenced-in fields for cattle and sheep.
But it's a small island. New Zealand isn't that big.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's big when you're riding in a tour bus.
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, it's all relative, you know.
And then when you decide to make the transition from the North Island to the South Island, or vice versa, or via ferry, you're gonna spend about an hour and a half on that ferry, getting from one island to the other.
Well, yeah, but boats only go 10 miles an hour.
Oh no, these ferries are moving along.
They're scooting, huh? Are they those hydroplaning ferries or hovercraft?
No, these are big ocean going ferries.
Well, listen, I thought about you while I was in the boat. I was trying to up my drink game. What you drinking tonight?
Vodka and watermelon juice.
Ooh, that sounds good. Is there like any fresh watermelon in it?
No, this one is. I buy bottles of watermelon juice at the store.
Well, you need to cut up some watermelon and make that the best. Well, I saw this at one of the gas stations, and I had to get it. Huh?
Liquid Death, huh?
Who would choose to drink this? You know what I mean? I said Liquid Death. Are you kidding me? Then I read it. Wait a minute. You got to read it. Look what it says.
I can't read that.
It's not even alcohol. It's water.
Mountain water.
Mountain water. It says murder your thirst. So I've been holding on to this for 4 days, waiting to do the premiere with you. Okay. So opening my $2 can of Liquid Death.
What about that $10 can of soda? I never got to hear about that one.
Now, you know, I'm from Flint, so we know water.
Brother,
stop.
You want
it goes no further.
Can I tell you? You want some good water? What you want to do? You want to look for a nice fresh coconut, but then you gotta know how to run a machete so you can take the top off that coconut and dump the water out.
Hey man, I watched the guys in Key West. I got it down now. I know how it goes.
I had a kid in Cuba bet me I couldn't drink the entire contents of one coconut.
Really?
You know me and money. I ain't losing a bet.
You know, there's a decent amount of juice in there, but I can't say it's more than a bottle of Coke.
But no, there it is. Let me tell you, by the time I was done drinking the liquid that came out of that coconut, my belly was about to explode. It was so full.
So how much do you think it was? A quart of liquid?
I'm telling you, easy a quart.
So this was a jumbo coconut then, right?
No, it was a coconut, just a normal sized coconut, about that big.
Okay, now yeah, coconuts are
about like that.
But then the nut is just this big.
Well, the coconuts.
How can the nut hold a quart?
No. The coconuts that I'm talking about are in the middle, are hollow, and there's the water in the middle. And so if you split the thing open after you've dumped all the water out, you're gonna have like a slim layer of cream, gooey like coconut milk is I guess what they call it, and then beyond that is the coconut that you get shaved. That's in your coconut cake and whatnot. There's no
Okay.
nut inside of a coconut.
Right. Well, the coconut is the nut, Timmy.
Right. And the
The
coconut,
brown thing on the center in the center of the big husky nut that
no,
most people never see at the grocery store.
no, they're not the coconuts I've cut open. Coconuts I've cut open, there's nothing inside of that. That you get that shell. It's green shell, and once you cut that open, there's nothing inside of it but liquid and coconut.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So maybe they're not fully mature. The brown nut isn't
Well, and
inside
maybe
there.
it's a different. You're talking about a different coconut. These coconuts were picked off of trees in Cuba, and I've seen them around
This
here
is Key
in
West.
Florida. And they're not. They're usually green and they're smooth.
Right.
And the trees only grow to be about 12, 15 feet high. So it's not like, in some places you'll see guys running up a coconut tree to pick a brown coconut that's all stringy on the outside. And that sounds like what you're talking about. I'm talking about a different type of coconut.
All right. Well, I got a coconut next door in the studio that I brought back from Florida. I was at a campground, right? And I spied them on the tree, and I said, boys, we're going to get a couple of those to take back. And then we realized how hard it is to pull them things out of the tree, and we didn't have a knife. You can't just pull it like a cantaloupe or an apple. They're pretty secure. So we went to go get a knife from the camp office, right? And we told her what we were doing, and she says, "Oh, just go back to maintenance. There's a bunch over there. You can just get them off the ground." The maintenance guys go around every morning and pick the ones up that do fall and throw them by the dumpster. So we went back by the dumpster and got a couple coconuts and brought them back. I never macheted them into the nut, so you may be right. I don't know. But the one that I got when I was down in Key West on the boardwalk was the same kind, and he did it like it was a spear. He chopped a little off this side, a little off that side, and then just enough to poke a hole in a straw in it, and it was good to go.
All right, let's see. Let me try something. I'm trying to figure out how to post a link to you here, and I'm not having a. Let me see if I get in a private chat.
Well, to say you're my tech guy. I don't understand how you can't copy a link and paste it.
Link, but the problem is when I'm in comment mode, in the comments mode, I can see comments, but I can't paste a comment. So I had to go in a private. Hey, girl.
Hey, Tim. Hello, Paul. How are you?
I've been enjoying the dog sitting pictures.
Oh, I am in my truck. I'm in downtown Flint. Shall I do a tour?
I like your lighting. For some reason, I like your lighting. You look fabulous, and you're blacked out, and just your face and your glasses and your smile is visible. And you don't even look wet for somebody who fell out of a kayak.
Well, that was a few days ago, I must say. Yes.
So you want to explain how you fell out of a kayak in 3 inches of water? The river's only 3 inches deep.
Well, it had just rained like profusely the day before, so it was about 3 feet deep there. Well, oh no, I'm exaggerating. It was like 2 feet deep at the most. But so yes, but how often do we get to see downtown Flint, Paul, on your show? I'm trying. There's the weather ball. Yeah. There's the weather ball. Yes. So Tim, do you know the story of the weather ball?
No, I do not.
So can you see it over my head?
Yeah, I can see it over your head.
I think it's red, Sharima. Is it red?
It is. Aren't we happy about that? Because it was blue earlier this week. So
are you going to sing the song?
You know what? Yeah. Well, you want to say it? Go for it.
No, I don't know it by heart. You're more versed. I'm a transplant.
I do. All right, so it's so funny we're talking about this because I was just talking about this to a coworker last week. So when the weather ball is red, warmer temperatures are ahead. When the weather ball is blue, colder temperatures are due. When
And-
yellow, when
Go ahead.
yellow, the weather ball, the weather changes not at all. And when precipitation, when it blinks in agitation, precipitation.
There's a high chance of precipitation.
There we go. There we go. I love the filling.
And so that almost sounds like the thing that we do in Boy Scouts with the weather rock. And when you hang a weather rock, you say, okay, so if the weather rock is moving sideways, that means it's windy. If the weather rock is wet, that means it's raining. And if the weather rock is covered with white stuff, that means it's snowing. So what happens? I guess when it snows, the weather ball just disappears.
No, that's blue.
It turns a beautiful shade of blue, and everybody knows it's going to be very cold if it isn't already. Yes, and it was blue yesterday, actually, or 2 days ago. Yes.
So what are you doing in downtown Flint?
Well, I was just out at Blackstone's meeting friends so we could listen to this great jazz band, the Greg Ellis Band, I think it's called. The Greg Ellis Band.
Yeah, he's done Juneteenth a couple years for me.
Oh, you've heard them before, but it's been a while, you said?
No. He's done Juneteenth a couple years for me.
Oh, I got you. Oh, I hear. Oh, that's great. Yeah, well, so you know who I'm talking about. And yeah, it was short-lived, unfortunately. The manager of Blackstone's had a tiff with them right there in front of the customers, and it was not okay. So
really,
a lot of us, yes, and we all sat there. We had a front row seat because we were right there closest to the band, and we were all like, "Are you kidding us right now?" And the band just packed up and left. No, believe it or not.
How loud it was?
Well, sort of. So they were there for an hour. I think they were supposed to play 2, and the lead singer is it Greg Ellis, I think.
I think
the
so.
lead singer.
Or
He
plays
the drums. Yes. Yep. He plays the drums, and he was singing.
Okay.
And I guess he asked if they could turn the microphones up because he was. I guess he said he was a little bit hoarse. And the next thing we know, the manager is over there, and the band is grouped around him, and the manager was going off. And I was like, "Oh no, he isn't." I mean, he was going off, and everybody, a lot of people got up and left, especially our table. So, I mean, that just wasn't cool.
Wow.
Really,
and you don't know cool. You don't know. He was upset because he asked him to turn the mic up?
And when I looked over there, he was saying, "Yes or no," and telling this to Greg, "Yes or no, yes or no, yes or no." And Greg was to me, so I wouldn't know what Greg was saying to him, but the guy was facing me, and I'm like, are they just kidding around? And we could tell they were not kidding. This guy was not kidding around. It was weird. So apparently he refused to turn the microphone up. But then while the band was packing up, he starts playing all these old songs from the 70s, like totally loud. You know how loud it gets in Blackstone's. Totally loud. Like, and you couldn't turn them up so that we could. Are you kidding me right now? This guy went crazy.
So what was the crowd like? What was the crowd ratio? Women.
It was very good. It was multiracial. The crowd was probably half and half, black and white. And I was at a table where it was 4 women, and it was myself and then 3 black women, and I was friends with one of them, and she'd invited me. And then several other tables, and I was up dancing. My friend was up dancing. A few other women from another table away came up and danced. I mean, it was a good energy. It was a great beat, and it was we were having a great time. And
do you guys know that COVID is out there, or you guys ain't worried about it?
I'm saying, I know. Well, I was wearing a mask the whole time. Well, and the thing is, I thought it was going to be out on the patio, which is why I came. But it is Blackstone's, which is, of course, Tim, it's this massive cavernous restaurant. I mean, it's huge. It's huge. It's huge. It's cavernous. It looks like an old industrial warehouse, and it might have been actually at one time. So I wasn't too frightened. But it wasn't, I mean, and they probably were definitely at 50% capacity. So, although I think that's slightly more than they're supposed to be, but anyway. But we were only there for an hour. So
wow. So let me understand. You got music, dancing, and a show.
oh yes,
In downtown Flint, Michigan, on a
definitely,
Friday. Wow.
exactly.
Wow,
Exactly.
who's going to get nominated for the Oscar? Greg for not beating his butt, or the manager for being a
Uh-huh.
dingleberry?
Okay, exactly. And it
What's
was, and no, he would have never. I don't think he ever would have talked to that band that way if they were white. I don't think he would have.
You don't think so?
That was not okay.
So they're under new management down there now, though, I thought.
Well, and this is interesting because this is my third or fourth time this year being here. This is the first time since the pandemic that I've been down to Blackstone's. And because they're right next door to the building that I work in, our buildings are connected, in fact. Before the pandemic, I had taken a few friends down there for lunch a few different times. And each time, the friend that I was with, who I was treating and had invited down, each time they had a problem with their meal. Each time. And I was okay, and then tonight, the woman I was with, I walked out, I got there a little bit later than they did. She had a problem with her meal. And I was like, what is going on?
The big stink that was going on before the pandemic down there with the racist guy that owned it, or who was supposed to be a partner in it. I think there were 3 owners, and one of them got called out as being a racist. And the other 2 started crying because they had nothing to do with it, and people boycotting it was hurting them as well as him, and that he was no longer a part of it. He was no longer a partner. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was doing some political backhanded stuff back in, I'm going to say, just post Don Williamson.
Oh, so I wonder if this was the same guy?
I don't think he's a part of it anymore. I think they bought him out, and they were apologizing to the community for his behavior and saying that them boycotting Blackstone's now was hurting us, and we're good people, kind of thing. We didn't do it.
Yeah. Well,
so
I don't know.
It may have gotten another sale between now and then. With the COVID going on and them, really just trying to recover at that point. They were just coming back. So I was telling Timmy I was trying to up the game a little bit on the drink, and I bought some Liquid Death. Straight out of Kentucky, girl. Liquid Death.
It really is called that.
It's mountain water. It's water. It's not even, I thought it was an energy drink or something. It's water, $2. But then I saw this, and I couldn't help myself. I don't even drink wine, okay? But I had to get. I'm not going to show you, but I'm going to show you.
Oh.
99 Crimes, Cali Red. Look at the Snoop Dogger.
Whoa,
Timmy, I got you,
sure
baby.
Is.
Drinking
it sure
watermelon and vodka, but I think I got you.
You know that's wrong because you know what Snoop's drink is? Sipping
Come on.
Hey, Paul, who just peeked around the corner and then backed away?
That was Angie trying to see what I was doing in here. I must have been having too much fun.
Tell Angie I said hey. Hey, Angie. It's
Sharima.
Sharima.
Hey, Angie.
Yes.
Yeah, this was wonderful. I don't even remember how much it cost.
Hey, Paul?
Yes.
Over in the private chat side, I put a link because that was the only place I could paste it. To a picture of the coconuts that I'm talking about, and you'll see the difference.
All right, hold on. I'll pull it up. That right there?
Yeah. So you see how that one's green and it kind of looks like it's on a vine?
Yes.
It's a bit different than the one. Now you're talking about one that's got a lot of shell on the outside and a very small center.
Exactly. And it's more acorn. It's more acorny than that is.
Right. That particular type of coconut, dude, it's you open it up and there is no no outer shell. It's the inner core.
It's all full. Well, I can see where that one can hold a quart of liquid.
Yeah, it holds a lot of water.
Yeah. So we still haven't gotten the story about falling out of the kayak, Sharima.
Oh yes. All right. Well, I'm going to tailgate because I've got old Bessie with me. Me and my truck.
I'm not.
We go everywhere
I'm not
together.
mad at you. I'm gonna
So-
I'm gonna have some Snoop Dogg, y'all. Cheers.
Oh my. Well,
Lean
yes.
back.
Well,
It tastes like gin and juice.
well, you know what he did. You know what he did to Matthew McConaughey when they filmed that movie together. And
No.
Matthew McConaughey was playing, I think, this old spiritual guru or something, or he was just this guy who had basically had never left the '60s behind, and he or something. Anyway, he actually gave him, the scene was that they were supposed to be smoking a joint, sitting cross-legged in a circle. Well, Snoop Dogg gave him real stuff, and Matthew McConaughey did everything he did, and that came to 5 p.m. the next day. I watched that interview.
He swapped out the stage weed for some real weed.
Yep. And in fact, apparently the stage weed was supposed to be oregano. And Matthew McConaughey is like, damn, this is some good oregano. and Snoop Dogg is just like, yep, mm-hmm. And then I think he had to kind of watch over Matthew because he literally did not come back to himself till 5 p.m. the next day. So I think that was 36 hours of this good shit.
I think there might be a little bit in here too. I don't know.
You never know.
You know the comedian Fluffy, right? Julio Iglesias.
Oh, yeah.
He does a funny routine about him meeting Snoop Dogg. And you want to laugh because that's all he talks about is Snoop and breaking out the big
Hooters, huh? Well, I like his story about meeting Mike Tyson. He talks about meeting Mike Tyson on an airplane. It is hilarious.
Wow.
I'm coming to your show, Fluffy. I'm coming to your show.
Fluffy? He called Mike Tyson Fluffy?
No,
he lived to tell the story?
No,
the comedian's name is Fluffy.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
yeah,
that's funny.
He is pretty hilarious. Pretty hilarious. Listen, I did a couple of things. I pulled up. I think I've got it here. If I can remember which one it is. Is that it? This is the scene from the Black Mirror show that I've been trying to get Timmy to watch.
Uh-huh.
This is where I think Facebook is going, and I don't know if there's audio. I'll let you listen to it, but if there's no audio, I can talk over it. Oh, it won't show the image. Makes sense.
What does it say?
All right. Well, what's happened is this girl is trying to get an apartment. She's at a 3.9 rating on her Facebook page. And in order to get this apartment, she has to be at a 4 or above. And in order to get a 4 or above, she's got to get 4s or aboves to like her, to give her a thumbs up. And if she gets them to do that, she can get the money to get the loan to get into the apartment complex to up her points. So this, to me, is where Facebook is going. I wish you guys could see it, but that's all right. It just hit me like, yeah. The influencers, you need to tap into the influencers and get them to get your numbers up so that you can move up in society.
Influencer. That's interesting you say that, because I was just in a webinar yesterday morning about maximizing your influence. It was called the Leadership Hour, and he did an acrostic with the word influencer, and it was very interesting. So you have the word going down, the left column, the left side, and you have a sentence, that starts with that letter going all the way down, using each letter of that word. And it was very good with the word influencer.
That's
It
a
was
12
good.
right there, baby. That's 4 double points in Scrabble or something, isn't it?
Hey, I don't know. I don't know. So you want to hear my kayak story?
I do. I got to hear your kayak story.
All
First,
right.
give me a location. Well, I guess that might come up in the story, so go for it.
So, well, it'll come up in who I was with. So I went kayaking with the Flint River Watershed Coalition. And in fact, I'm going with them again tomorrow. I've been kayaking the Flint River since 2016 and with the Flint River Watershed Coalition. And so this particular evening, it was 2 Wednesdays ago, it was September 2nd. And that night they had a moonlit paddle. And I have wanted to go on a moonlit paddle for like ever. And it had never worked out before. And finally I was like, I am going on this moonlit paddle. So I did. So it is 9:30 at night. We are down there at Kayak Flint, which is right behind Tenacity Brewing. And Tim, that is like 2 blocks from Paul's house. Tenacity Brewing. It's one of our breweries here in the Flint area, and it's right almost in the heart of downtown. It's just right off behind downtown, and right there in Carriage Town, and where Paul lives. So, well, right behind Tenacity Brewing, the river runs through there, and that's where Kayak Flint has their livery. And so, but it was, of course, the Flint River Watershed Coalition leading that one that night. And so we're all there, and we're all getting into our kayaks. It's 9:30 at night. It is as dark at that time as it is right now out here. And now, mind you, I have been kayaking for years. I have kayaked 7 rivers in Michigan. I have kayaked in the South Pacific and at least one of the Great Lakes. So I know a little something about what I'm doing. And I've never fallen in a kayak. I have fallen in.
No kayaking in New Zealand?
Yes, that was the ocean. It was the South Pacific.
Okay.
In fact, it was my very first time ever kayaking, and it was amazing. Oh, and the dolphins came out to join us. It was absolutely stunning. It was amazing.
Nice.
So that's another story. So I've been kayaking for years. So I was due to fall in at some point, to be quite honest, because you can't, yeah, at some point I'm going to fall in. So I was just due. So I'm trying to get in, but it's very, very slippery there. It's very steep to get in there. And that's in the broad daylight. It's a little bit of a challenge. And I'd done that getting on there several times before, but now it is totally dark. And the guide was helping us. He was in the water. He was trying to help me in, and I'm leaning down because you're on a bit of an incline and you have to step down into the kayak. I was trying not to get my feet wet, and I overcorrected and I went right over. I was in the kayak flipped. I went right into the water, and so did my raincoat. Ironic, I know. So I had my raincoat there. It flips over into the water, and in the pocket of my raincoat was my cell phone. And so I am getting up out of the water, and I said to the guide, "Oh my gosh, did my phone get wet?" And he hands it to me, and it is dripping. So we both fell into the river, and there was only one survivor.
And you didn't do the rice thing?
You know what? So a couple of days later, someone else mentioned to do the rice thing, and I was going to, and then I forgot to. But so I got my phone a week later, which was this past Wednesday. And so I'm going again tomorrow. And I had gone out the Sunday before that, 4 hours down the Shiawassee River. It was wonderful.
So it's a nice phone. You upgraded. That's a beautiful picture there.
Well, thank you. All right, good to know.
What was it?
What'd you get?
It's not. Oh, I don't know. It's not. It's a Samsung A21.
Oh, okay.
Is what I have.
I know that there is a waterproof case made for iPhones that's so good. A diver off the coast of England found somebody's iPhone that fell out of their pocket on a boat, and the reason he found it was because while he was swimming over it, it got a text.
on, you can't hear a text underwater.
No, it lit up.
The phone lit up, and
It lit up.
yeah, getting a text, it lit up. But the thing was, this waterproof case was so good, the phone was still powered up and working when the driver was swimming over it, and it lit up and caught his attention, and so he picked it up and brought it up to the boat.
The answer to the call, it was probably an insurance caller asking about your Google account.
No, it was probably that guy. I've been trying to get a hold of you about the extended warranty on your car.
Exactly.
I got that call today. I'm telling you, why do they think that you'll actually listen and actually, dial 1? I mean, why do they? We have been trying to reach you.
Because
crazy.
People do. And I'm so sad for those people. When I go through my email alone, it's like, my God, if I didn't know what I knew, you know what I mean? Can you imagine somebody that's not as versed, you know what I mean? And says, oh, wow, $25,000. All I have to do is, they're just really vultures.
Sharima, do you want me to give you an example of my biggest head scratcher?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
we had a person that called our. This is at the university, and a university employee that finally broke down and called the IT desk number to ask for help when she realized her computer had been polluted. So when I said to her, "Explain to me what happened," she said, "Well, I got a phone call from a guy who said he was from Microsoft tech support, and there was a problem with my computer." And I said to her, "You're talking about the university computer you're working on right now that the tech is cleaning the virus off of?" "Yes." "And then what did you do?" "Well, he asked me to type in some commands, so I typed in the commands, and it gave the response he expected. And he said that my computer was infected, and to go click on this link and go download this software to fix it." And I looked at her and I said, "And it never dawned on you, maybe you should call your own IT help desk."
Nope. Dude, I've got a similar story. I've got a client. I've got a client that paid a guy, right? He had a problem, and he paid a guy in India, gave him full access to his computer, and paid him $200.
Yep.
To the computer, hey, you got
Yep.
Unbelievable.
At my church, one of the former employees at my church paid $250 for 2 licenses of this software this guy sold him over the phone, was supposed to fix all his issues. So not only did he just install it on his computer, but he went in the central office and to the pastor's administrative assistant and installed it on her computer too.
Oh my
God. Next thing I know, I'm getting a phone call from the financial secretary because I'm the IT tech support for the church. And she tells me that one of the network printers just keeps spitting out papers, one line at a whack, but it won't stop. So I finally get the story about what happened. And I said to the administrative assistant, "Do me a favor, please, and unplug the network patch cord from the back of your computer, and let's see if this printing doesn't stop." And sure as heck, as soon as she unplugs her patch cord from the back of her computer, the printing stops. So something that this guy sold to the youth pastor that he installed on his computer and the administrative assistant's computer was basically spooling jobs to the printer, one line of gibberish at a time.
Oh my gosh.
3 reams of paper.
Oh wow. No. Such a waste. Oh my gosh.
And you think that was the goal of the hack?
Well, it was definitely more malware than helpware. I immediately went in and cleaned up the administrative assistant's computer and got her back together. And I sent an email to the pastor and said, "Please circulate to your staff. Don't go installing random software if they don't own the computer.
Right. This is not your computer. This is not your computer. You wouldn't put spinners on a rental car. Why would you put software in a computer that doesn't belong to you?
Dude, rent the car.
I've heard some celebrities have done that before.
You started to ask me about my week. Let me tell you about one day in my week. I had a Paul Herring day.
Oh, this ought to be good.
So JetBlue recently made it obvious that they've canceled all morning flights between Tampa and Boston. So the earliest you can get into Boston is at 3:45 in the afternoon, which means right in the middle of rush hour. If you had any plans for early afternoon, fly. I have plans to fly into Boston on the 9th of October. Had plans for the afternoon of the 9th of October, and and the weekend. So now I'm thinking, all right, I need to fly in on the 8th so that I can still execute my plans on the 9th. Call up I booked everything through AARP, which is basically run by Expedia. So I call up the Expedia helpline and said to the guy, listen, I want to add one more day onto my rental period. Oh, I can't do that for you. You'll need to call Alamo and arrange that for yourself. All right, fine. I call up Alamo. Alamo's like, yep, no problem. And we'll even give it to you for the same price as, because I booked the car over 6 months ago. And, it was $49.95 for a Cadillac STS 6 months ago. That same Cadillac, if I wanted to rebook it right now, was $95. This guy in Expedia is trying to get me to cancel my reservation and rebook it. And when he finally understands I'm not going to do that, he tells me to call Alamo. So I call Alamo. They add on the extra day for the same price as what I had originally booked for 6 months ago. All right, everything's beautiful with the exception of one thing. Through Expedia, you can buy rental insurance for the car at basically less than 50% of what the car dealership or the rental place charges you per day. So I called them up and I said, okay, now what do I got to do about the insurance to get the insurance to extend for the, oh, you can't do that. You can't make any changes. Once that insurance policy is cut, it's cut. After 4 different phone calls, I finally end up having to cancel that insurance policy, call this number to try to get a new insurance policy on the car without paying the Alamo $25 a day rental or insurance fee. And the woman I'm talking to says to me, oh, we can't write policies in Florida. And I said, well, I'm not looking to rent the car in Florida. I'm looking to rent the car in Boston. She says, yeah, but you're from Florida. We can't write policies for people in Florida. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And then she says, wait a minute, I think I know something I can do for you. So she hands me off to this other guy, and we get the policy written out. Do you know what that new policy ended up costing me for now 5 days instead of 4 days on that rental car? Paul, did I lose you?
I'm muted. I'm sorry. I muted Sharima and I muted myself. We had some background going.
Yes,
you
I
got
am
sirens
downtown.
going. So I'm guessing it's like $200 is what it costs you.
No. The woman says to me, $29.95 is going to be your insurance. And I'm like, wow, $29.95 a day? That's more than and she says to me, no. I said $29.95. For the whole rental period, all 5 days? She says, yeah, $29.95 for all 5 days rental period. And I'm like, wait a minute, Expedia was going to charge me $40 for 4 days. I'm getting a 50. She says, wait. Wow. She says to me, wait, it's getting better. I said, why is that? She says, because not only do you now have just insurance on the car to cover anything with the car, you have trip cancellation insurance. You have lost luggage insurance. You have, if you get sick on your trip insurance. And I'm like, wow. I get all that $30 for 5 days?
Wow. So here's my question to you, Timmy. I know you got full coverage on your vehicle or one of your vehicles.
Yeah.
Why aren't you just avoiding the insurance altogether?
for this simple fact. My wife got into a car accident about 11 years ago now up in Ohio. And luckily, she had decided to go ahead and pay the $25 a day for the additional rental, even though we had the insurance and all that. And she got into an accident. And when I got done working with the rental car company, the woman said to me, well, your rental period is covered, but your insurance is responsible for all the damage to the other vehicle and everything. And I said, well, my wife took out the full coverage, $25 a day. What are you telling me? She says, all that $25 a day buys you is us not harassing you to pay the daily rental fee for every day that car is in the shop getting repaired. That's all it covers. It doesn't cover anything else but us not charging you for the daily rental fee while we can't rent our car out.
So you don't buy it from them for that reason. You get it from a third party.
Well, no. So if you just go with your insurance, right? Yeah. Basically, what it is, Expedia and AARP and a few other entities offer you an alternative way to buy that insurance that covers that car completely. So that way, the company doesn't come after you for not only repairing their car, but for the lost rental profits that they would have made from that car.
Right. So, but my insurance covers the damages, but it does not cover their out of service time.
Yep.
I have to get their insurance, and their insurance only covers that.
Yep. So my insurance had to cover the other guy's car and his hospital bills. My insurance,
because she was listed at fault.
Yeah, she was listed at fault in the accident. So my insurance had to cover everything. And there was a lawsuit, from the accident and everything. And my insurance company here in Florida, that insured all my vehicles here in Florida, had to cover it.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, that was $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, Timmy, wasn't it? That was a bad accident.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I almost lost my youngest son in that accident.
Yeah. And he was months in the hospital recovering, wasn't he?
Yeah. And thankfully, I had good health insurance because his bill came out to $500K.
Wow. What do you do?
The medevac helicopter to take him from the accident scene. They took both him and my daughter from the accident scene to Children's Hospital. That was $10,000 for that trip per child.
Oh my goodness.
$600 to go 3 blocks in an ambulance from my house to Hurley Hospital.
So,
oh no!
I get the notification from the insurance company. They're covering $9,950. I got to cover $50. That's my copay. So I call up the helicopter ambulance company to make an arrangement to pay them the $100 I owe them. And the woman says to me, "Forget about it. We've already written that off. We don't charge anything more than what the insurance company pays us."
Yeah, because you're milking it. It doesn't cost $10,000 to run that helicopter. Yeah. That was a 2-hour trip. Are you telling me you're paying this guy $5,000 an hour, or you're paying him $2,500 an hour, and it costs $5,000 to run the machine, and you got $2,000 worth of profit?
You got two helicopter pilots, a medical technician on the flight, and the fuel and all that happy stuff.
That's still $300,000. Say they each $100,000. That's $300,000 worth of salary per year, divided by 2 friggin' hours.
Up to that point, I always worked off of the fact that my Visa card that I always rented the cars on covered any damage to the rental car. But one time I pulled it, I got a nail through the sidewall. Tire was unrepairable. Okay, Visa says to me, "Go ahead, you pay and file a claim, and we'll pay the claim amount towards your credit card." Fine. I get to finish with the rental period. I go to turn the car in. the guy at the rental place says to me, yeah, that tire doesn't match the other three. I said, that's because Goodyear doesn't manufacture that tire anymore, so they had to give me the closest match. He says, well, technically I could make you buy the other three tires. I'm like, are you serious?
I said, well, technically you could try. Technically you could try. Listen, I'm already on the most wanted list at Enterprise.
They got you right there, because they already got your credit card number in their system.
Yeah, but you can stop that. Enterprise doesn't like me. It was actually the same trip that I got the coconuts on. We rented this minivan, and first time we tried to open the hatch, it wouldn't close. You know what I mean? It wouldn't down. I had to physically push it down, and it was resistance against the hydraulics. So what would be 3 seconds closing the hatch was now taking 2-3 minutes to push the hatch.
No.
Okay. So we tried to replace the car. Yes.
I was going to say, you're now the fourth person I know that's ever rented from Enterprise. And do you know how many people I know that have had a good story from renting from Enterprise?
I had wonderful stories with Enterprise. I loved Enterprise up until this point. I mean,
rented from Enterprise has a horror story.
Dude, they pick you up.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I tried 3 times to exchange the van at 3 different airports. Toledo Airport, one in Kentucky, and then another one in Florida, okay? Nobody had vans. They could put me in a small car with all the kids and all the stuff and all the camping gear. That wasn't happening. So finally, we get down in Florida, and frustrated in dealing with this, I hip check it. You know what I mean? And close it with my butt and put a little dent in the back door. I get back to Flint and tell them about the dent, and they say, oh, no problem, Mr. Herring, blah, blah, blah. And then they send me a bill for $780 to repair the dent.
Yep.
And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Well, see, I didn't tell them that I had broken the tail light. Remember I told you I got the coconut? Well, when I was getting the coconuts, I backed up into a boat trailer. I didn't see the hitch was way up here and busted the damn light out. So when I got back to Flint, I rented the car for 2 more days and ordered a tail light from Amazon and put the tail light in. So when I got the bill, I thought I was busted for the tail light, but I wasn't. It was just the dent. So I actually had a dent in my car. I took my car to a collision shop over on Atherton Road and had them give me an estimate on how much it was to fix my dent. And my dent came to $300.
Yeah. The other rest was rental fee.
Right. I go to Enterprise, and like I said, we were great friends. I was always renting cars from Enterprise because it's kind of worry-free travel for me. I don't have to worry about the car breaking down. I don't have to worry about flat tires. It just takes a big load off my mind. I did a lot of rentals, so I go back into the office with John. We walk out, shake hands, and I'm going to pay him $250 for the damage, right? I said, all right, check's coming in Friday. I'll see you Friday. I go back Friday to give him the money. He's been promoted to regional manager somewhere in Oshkosh Bagosh, and nobody in the office knows anything about our agreement or arrangement.
Surprise, surprise, surprise. You see this? This is my shocked face.
You're shocked. Timmy, you got 30 seconds to say goodbye, baby. It's 10 o'clock.
Oh, it's 10 o'clock already. All right, people, remember, vote, vote, vote. If you're going to vote by mail, get your ballot in early. Make sure you sign it the same way and check to make sure it was actually recorded. Y'all have a great week. We'll see you next Friday.
You going to the polls, Timmy, or are you going to mail in?
Oh no, I'm going to the polls, baby. I like to watch that ballot slide into that machine and hear that machine make that little ding noise that tells me it was red.
And you got to get that sticker, baby. You got to get that
I
sticker.
didn't even take the sticker this last time, and the woman was shocked. I didn't want to
Oh.
take the I voted sticker.
Oh no! All right, guys, you've been watching Eclectic Ramblings right here on Spectacletv TV. Listen, if you want to do what we do, holla, holla, holla. We're determined to make a difference, and we need you to too. 810-239-2901. That's 810-239-2901. Remember, enjoy the life you're living, guys. Just until, what's that, Timmy? Just until
You can live the life you'll enjoy.
got it, baby. Peace.